And now black develops his light square bishop, which looks good, but bringing the bishop out too early in the game also exposes it. It can be targeted anytime with a move like h3, but before that Kasparov strikes in the center with e4. And now bishop to e7, and that's actually a mistake because the move bishop to e7 is simply too slow. It doesn't deal with the central tension and it completely ignores the coming kingside pawn storm. On the top of that, bishop lands on a very passive square. Instead, the move like c6 or maybe bishop to g6 were much better. And now Kasparov can continue this game by pushing g4, which attacks this bishop, and after bishop to g6 now comes h4, and you can see white is better. But after the move bishop to e7, here Kasparov develops his queen to e2, which indicates that he wants to castle long, and the computer gives this move as an inaccuracy because he basically wants white to push g4. And now c6. Here black creates a fortress. Okay, so now black goes for h5, and that's an inaccuracy. Basically, black wants to attack this pawn chain, but it's a premature attack because black isn't castled yet, and you can see these pieces are uncoordinated and this king is still in the center. And now Kasparov simply castled alongside. And now Kasparov goes for g5, which is a good move, restricting black pieces from coming to the f6 and h6 squares, making this knight useless. And now basically black goes for h4, preparing for bishop to h5 so that he can pin this knight. So that's why to defend this, knight to d2, and you can see the next destination of this knight. And guys, here Kasparov goes for d5, but guys, the move knight to c4 is highly recommended here. Bringing the knight to c4 gives it a beautiful outpost, which creates or increases the tension on the queen side. But here Kasparov idea might be to close the center, and with this move you can see he also reduces the activity of his own dark square bishop, because now there are no great squares left for this. Instead, he should consider pushing the pawn to create a breakthrough, which also helps in developing the knight. But instead he goes for bishop to f8, and now simply Kasparov jumps in with knight to c4, attacking this queen, so this queen has to move, and now comes knight to a3. And for beginners, we hear this rule: knights on the rim are dim. But for Kasparov, this knight on a3 is like a sniper. From here, it's eyeing the b5 and c4 squares, and very importantly, this knight is getting perfectly positioned for a future sacrifice. I mean, if black is not careful and he goes for any move like knight to e7, now white can consider this amazing move, bishop takes a7 check. Because after king takes a7, now comes this another beautiful sacrifice, knight at a goes to b5 check. And now black is forced to capture, and finally knight takes b5 check. And after this, king moves, knight takes c7, king takes c7, and you can see now this is completely lost for black. So that's why after knight to a3, after this move, here black finds the best move, which is knight to b6, blocking the diagonal of this dark square bishop. And now he captured on c6. And basically Kasparov wants to open the b file. Why I am saying this? Because if let's suppose black captured with the queen, that will be a huge mistake because of bishop to b5, which attacks this queen. And after queen to c7, now comes bishop takes b6, queen takes b6, knight to d5, attacking this queen again, queen to c5, rook to d3, and then rook to c3. And clearly you can see this position will be completely winning for white. Okay, so let me show you a quick variation. Since black queen is now very close to getting trapped, so that's why queen to c8. But after that we will attack this queen, queen to e6, knight to c7, attacking this queen. And you can see now he is quite slowly, basically white is quite slowly improving his position, whereas the black knight and this dark square bishop are still in their original place. And let's suppose if basically this queen is attacked, so it has to move. Let's suppose if he goes on e7 square, and now white can go for this another sacrifice, knight to a6 check, b takes a6, bishop to c6, and in the next move rook to b3 is coming, and basically queen takes a6 is also there. And you can see now this position is completely winning for white. Okay, so in the actual game, so that's why after white captured on c6, he recaptures with the b pawn, and now bishop to a6. Basically Kasparov is creating this amazing mating net barrier. And now black strikes with f5, and guys, in this position white can now consider this amazing sacrifice, which is knight at a goes to b5. So that we can open this c file, because after takes, knight takes b5, and since white is now creating many threats, so to counter this, if black decides to exchange the queen by queen to c4, which looks more logical, but instead of exchanging the queens, which will activate the black knight on b6, so let's suppose if white decides to place this queen on d2, that will be a mistake because of the move f4, which attacks this bishop. And you can see now there is not an illegal move left for this bishop. So that's why now white is forced to capture on b6, a takes b6, and at the end you can see black will be a piece up. So that's why the correct move order after the move queen to c4 is basically, and guys, now you can just pause the video and try to find this by yourself. And basically the move is to sacrifice the queen by bishop takes b6, and after queen takes e2, bishop to e7 check, king to a8, bishop takes d8, queen takes e4, rook at h goes to e1, queen to c6, rook to e3, and in the next move knight to c7 check is coming. And obviously black cannot capture this light square bishop due to the threat of knight to c7 check. And in the next move this rook is coming to b3, and clearly you can see this is all over for black. Okay, so in the actual game after f5, here Kasparov missed that and he simply captures on f5, and now bishop to h5 is possible, which targets this queen, but black simply missed that and he captures on f5. And now Kasparov basically attacks the center, but black simply locks it by e4. And finally Kasparov finds the move, which is knight at a goes to b5. And now black must consider this amazing move, which is queen to a4, so that he can target this strong bishop, which is basically blocking the important diagonal of this king. But instead he made a mistake by bishop to c8. He basically done this in a wrong way because of the move rook to d4, which attacks this queen to c6. And guys, now I just want you all to pause the video and just try to think, what will you play as of white? And in this position, Kasparov sacrificed his another knight by knight takes a7. And basically he did all of this because after king takes a7, now comes rook to c4, which attacks this queen. And now this queen has to move, so here black goes for queen to c5, and then bishop takes b6 check, king takes a6, and you can see now this king is completely exposed. And basically in this position the final move by Kasparov is rook to a4 check. And in this position Oblitas resigned, because after this king goes back to b7, simply rook to a7 check, and if king goes to b8, then bishop to c7 will be a checkmate. So that's why this king has to move. So let's suppose if this king goes to this c6 square, now white can give another check, and obviously black can't capture this because of this queen, so it has to move, which is the only b5 square. And now you know the move like a4, so that we can bring this king closer. And now we can give a check again. This king goes to this king can go anywhere. Let's suppose if he goes to b5, now comes c4 check, and you can see this is all over for black. What an amazing game by Kasparov. And guys, don't go anywhere. Now I will show you the solution to that puzzle which I asked you in the community post. And in this position, here you have to find the winning moves, or we can say the winning sequence for white. In the community post, most of the people are saying that this is an equal position, but only one person found the correct answer. Shout out to Luis Santos. Okay, so as you can see, these black pawns are basically going downwards, as well as this rook, bishop, queen, knight, king, as well as this rook. They all are locked. Basically these pieces are locked in a jail, whereas this rook is pinned by this bishop. And initially if you put this position into an engine, it says that this position is equal, but in reality guys, this position is winning for white. So you can pause the video and try to find the solution by yourself. And if you are new to my channel and haven't subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe, because I also post some of these amazing types of chess puzzles. Okay, so let's suppose if you try to push a3, then simply you can see now there is no legal moves left for black. So that's why this position will be a stalemate. Okay, so let me go back. Yup, and I am pretty sure that the first thing which comes in your mind, that if we somehow bring our knight to this either d2, maybe to e3, or maybe to this g3 square, in all the case this will be a checkmate. And obviously we can also place our knight to e3, because this rook can't capture, and I already told you that this pawn is moving forward. But guys, it's not so easy. I mean, let's suppose if you go for knight to f7. Now black will go for the move a3, and since there are no legal move left for black, so you have to basically now you can see if this knight goes anywhere. Now there is no legal moves, and you can see this position will be a stalemate. So let me go back. Yeah, and let's suppose if you try to capture this rook, then again simply f takes e2 check. Now this king has to move, and let's suppose if this king goes on c2, simply e1 equal to queen, and you can see in the next move black will give multiple checks, and that's winning for black. So that's why this is also not possible. So let me go back. Yeah, so in this position the first move, which is knight to f7, and as I already told you that the only legal move for black is a3, and since now there is no legal move left for black, so now you have to provide a legal move, and for that you have to sacrifice your knight with knight to h6. And now you can see again black all pieces are basically can't move, so now black is forced to capture on h6, and after that we will simply push h5, and simply so let's suppose if you promote to a queen, h4, and again you can see if we move this queen to any place, let's suppose if we go for queen to hf, g5, and anywhere you can move this queen anywhere. In all the cases now you can see black has no legal move left, and again this position will be a stalemate. So that's why let me go back. So the correct move is to promote to a knight. And why we are doing this? Because again after h4 now we will go for this amazing move knight to f6, and we are doing this so that we can provide a legal move to black. And again since all pieces are locked, so now this is forced e7, f5, e8 equal to knight, and again you can see black can't capture this knight due to this pin. And again so basically as I already told you that if he promotes to a queen, then again after this move, now wherever this queen goes, in all the case this position will be a stalemate because there is no legal move left. So that's why now we have to promote to a knight again with the same idea of this sacrifice. And now I think you all got the move. After f4, knight to d6 takes, which is the only option, c7, d5, c8 equal to knight, now d4. And again we will sacrifice our knight, because if we let's suppose capture, then this is stalemate, so we can't do this. So let me go back. So the correct move is after this pawn push, knight to b6 takes, a7, b5, and now you can see black have multiple legal moves. So now if now you can promote to a queen, but basically yes, this is also winning, but we have to find the fastest checkmate. So we have to find the fastest way to checkmate the black king. So this is also winning because after b4 now simply queen to a5 is coming, b3, a takes b3, a2, king to c1, a1 equal to queen, and queen takes a1, and you can see now in the next move multiple let's suppose this is the only move which he can consider, and after that we will simply give a check from this a5 square. Now king to f1 is forced, and now we can just go for pawn push, and you can see either we promote or we can now easily we can checkmate the black king. But so in this position, instead of promoting to a queen, it's better to promote to a knight, because by promoting to a knight we get a fastest way to checkmate black king. Why? Because now this is forced, knight to c4, and either black push this pawn further, or either he captures this pawn. In all the case you can see knight to knight to d2 will be a checkmate, and obviously we can't go there because then this pawn will capture. So knight to d2 will be a checkmate. Like this video and also make sure to subscribe to my channel for more, and comment down that how many of you finds this sequence, and also follow me for these amazing type of puzzles. This is your host Bison signing off. Bye bye.